Thank you for participating in this session of Tennessee Medical Association's Spotlight Videos. Today's video will be our Paying Your Tennessee Professional Privilege Tax. We will explain what the tax is, who is responsible for paying it, how to pay it, and the penalty for not doing so. The state of Tennessee requires certain professionals to pay an occupation tax each year. Generally, these professions require the individual to obtain some kind of state license in order to practice that profession, such as accountants, attorneys, lobbyists, medical and osteopathic physicians. All physicians with an active Tennessee medical or osteopathic license are required to pay the professional privilege tax. The tax is $400 per person and is due every year by June 1st. If you are licensed in two different professions, you are only responsible for paying one tax per year. In prior years, the Department of Revenue sent written notices in the mail each year reminding licensed professionals to pay the tax. However, in 2014, the department stopped sending these reminders in an effort to go entirely paperless and reduce cost. Instead, you can sign up to receive email reminders when you pay your professional privilege tax. In the online payment portal, there will be a field on your very first page where you can enter your email address. If you do that, you should start receiving email updates from the department. Email reminders about the tax should go out sometime in April. The TMA will also send out reminders to its physician members through its weekly email newsletter, TMA Weekly, starting in March. If you do not currently receive TMA Weekly, please send an email to legal@tnmed.org. As mentioned in the first slide, all physicians with active licenses are required to pay the tax each year. However, there are 3 exemptions to that rule. First, if you no longer plan to practice medicine in Tennessee, you may file an affidavit of retirement with either the Board of Medical Examiners or the Board of Osteopathic Examination, depending on your license. Doing so will exempt you from having to pay the tax. I will talk more about how retiring your license works on the next slide. Second, if your primary practice is outside the state of Tennessee and you have an inactive Tennessee license, you do not have to pay the professional privilege tax. Finally, if you are engaged in active military service, you are not required to pay. In order to qualify for the retirement exemption as mentioned on the previous slide, you must file the affidavit of retirement with the appropriate licensing board before June 1st. If you file for retirement after June 1st, even if it's just a few weeks later, you will still be required to pay the $400 for that year. You can find and download the affidavits of retirement on the links listed on your screen. Do not forget that in order to avoid paying the tax, you must file an affidavit. Simply retiring from the regular practice of medicine does not automatically exempt you from paying the tax if you still have an active license. Now that you understand what the tax is and who has to pay it, you need to know how to pay it. Effective January 1st, 2013, the Department of Revenue requires that all professionals subject to the tax pay it electronically. In years past, when the department sent its reminders in the mail, it would also include a return envelope for professionals to include their payments by cash or check. Those days are gone. Now the only way to pay the tax is to do so online, unless doing so would cause the individual a hardship, which must be approved by the department. The types of hardships that the department typically approves includes not owning a computer, not being able to access the internet, or being exempted for religious reasons. If you think you may qualify for a hardship exemption, you can call 1-800-342-1003 to request a waiver from the Department of Revenue. Keep in mind, however, receiving a hardship waiver does not excuse you from timely payment of the tax. In other words, even if you are allowed to pay the tax via check or cash, you are still required to pay it by June 1st. In order to pay your professional privilege tax, you must have your Social Security number. In the past, you could use either your Social Security number or your professional privilege tax account number. However, because most people can never remember their account numbers, the Tennessee Department of Revenue is now requiring all professionals to use their Social Security number. If you will be paying the professional privilege tax as an individual, go to apps.tn.gov/PRIVTX/. You will notice there's a link on the web page for an online demo, which will walk you through the process of paying your professional privilege tax with a credit card. The demo includes a 15% penalty in the cost, which would not be applied to your cost if you pay before June 1st. The web page also tells you that you can pay the tax by either taking the money directly out of your bank account or with a credit card, just like if you're ordering something online. Be aware that using a credit card will result in a 2.49% processing fee being added to your payment. All credit card companies charge merchants, which in this case would be the Department of Revenue, processing fees for letting people use their credit cards. That is what the 2.49% fee is. If you use your bank account, that fee will not be added to your payment. If you work for a practice with several physicians or are employed by a hospital, the practice or hospital may choose to pay the professional privilege tax for multiple physicians. If that is the case, go to apps.tn.gov/PRIV batch /. The web page you see on your screen should come up. You can also access this web page from the website on the previous slide through the batch filing application link listed on that page. The batch filing web page also includes a tutorial, which you can find in the link titled See Example Pages. That link will allow you to see each section of the payment process and the information required for each. As with the individual payment web page, you have the option of payment by credit card or through your bank. To file for multiple individuals, you will be required to have a comma-separated values file, also known as a CSV file. If you need information on how to convert your files for this use on this web page, there is a link titled Additional Instructions that will provide you with the information you need. Before starting the payment process, you will need to have your login, username, and password, or register as a new user. Once you've completed the payment process through either the individual filing page or the batch filing page, you will see a confirmation page giving you a summary of your transaction. This page is the only receipt you will receive. Make sure and print the confirmation page and save it for your records. If for some reason you receive a penalty from the Department of Revenue for not paying on time, this page will be the only proof you have that you did actually pay the tax on time. If you have any issues with either website while trying to pay your tax, you can call the Electronic Commerce Unit at 886-368-6374. As I mentioned on the previous slide, failure to pay the professional privilege tax by June 1st will result in the Department of Revenue assessing a monetary penalty, which will be added onto the $400 tax. The penalty is a percentage of the tax and will increase each month the tax is not paid. Continued non-payment of the tax may result in the appropriate licensing board revoking your professional license. On a monthly basis, the Department of Revenue sends a list of licensees that are 90 days or more delinquent in paying for the professional privilege tax to all licensing boards. If you have any questions about anything we have said in the webinar or about the professional privilege tax in general, please contact the TMA Legal Department at legal@tnmed.org or call us at 1-800-659-1862. You can also visit our website at www.tnmed.org for continuous updates on the professional privilege tax and any other laws or issues affecting the practice of medicine in Tennessee. We also have an extensive law guide with over 150 topics related to the practice of medicine, which you can find at the link printed at the bottom of your screen. This resource is for TMA members only, so you will need your member ID and password to access any of the law guide topics. If you are not a member and are interested in joining the TMA, please visit our website to learn more and begin the registration process. Thank you for joining us for this session of TMA Spotlights.